Hey everyone, Josh here with a look at another Star Wars toy. And today we're going to unbox a 6-inch Black Series. This is Dryden Vos. So let's go cut this guy loose. Alright everyone, here we are with Dryden Vos, a Black Series 6-inch figure. And we're going to unbox this guy today. But before we get that far, let's take a quick look at the packaging. And so, if you guys are familiar with Black Series, you know they are numbered, most of them, unless it's a store exclusive. And Dryden Vos is number 79. And then on the back here, we have an enlargement of the artwork and a quick character description, and I'll go ahead and read that to you guys. The public face of the Crimson Dawn crime syndicate, Dryden Vos is a contradiction, a pitiless enforcer known as a gangster of wealth and taste. His good manners shouldn't be mistaken for weakness, though. He can change from a generous host to a ruthless killer in a moment. And of course, this character is from the Solo movie. And if you guys are familiar with the movie, of course you recognize him. And let's get him out of here and check this thing out. And unfortunately, he doesn't come with a lot of accessories. He has the little knives or daggers that he was using in the movie, and okay, and we'll pop those out of there as well. Okay, very cool. So here he is, taking a look at him, and as you can see, he has the scarring on his face, and of course, if you see in the movie, the character has giant scars down his face, and he has a little bit of a cape and some sort of accessory. Let's see if this cape is removable. Yes, it is. Okay, very cool. So, I mean, he has an interesting little thing on his belt there as well, so that's very cool. But just taking a look at the character with his robe off, or cape, you can see it looks almost like a business suit kind of outfit. And I'm seeing here he's got a ring on his hand here, and that's trying to see if this thing here does anything. It almost looks like it moves or comes off or interacts somehow, but no, it does not. It's molded on there. Very cool. And then, of course, you have the cape he came with, which has this like little strap piece with some decorations on it of some sort, and it's flexible, but the cape is plastic, and it's really only got one armhole. It's kind of like a one that goes off to the side. Very cool. And real quick here, let's run through Dryden Vos's articulation in his movements here. So he's got an interesting looking neck. He has this really high collar on, and so and the face sculpt is very good. Looks very good. But let's start at his head movement. So feels like he's on a ball joint on his head, like most of them. So you have full rotation and up and down, and that appears to be it. Then at his arms, you of course have up and down and a full rotation, and the same thing at the elbow. You have a rotation and up and down, and at his wrist you have a rotation and an up and down movement. And then here at his waist, what you got here is full rotation and an up and down, forward and backward a little bit. And you can see that they have the articulation on his body right there in the center of his torso. So, and it looks to me like there might be waist articulation, but there is not. And then on his leg, you have forward and backward. And then also right here, higher up on the leg, you have a rotation point so you can rotate his legs. And there isn't a whole lot to his costume, unfortunately. And then, of course, you have the knee joint that bends and ankle rotation. Okay, so you have a little bit of restricted movement on the ankle. So it does rotate, but it's catching on the collar of his pants here, or his pant cuff, I guess. But the bottom of his pants, so it does rotate, but it kind of sticks a little bit. But you also, it kind of restricts the up and down. Or the back and forth. You don't really have back and forth movement all that well. But other than that, that really seems to be the only sticking point on his articulation, or his feet. But as I was just mentioning, that there's not a lot of detail to his costume or his outfit. It's just a black suit, and you can, if you look really close, you can see detailing on the fabric. There's like a pinstripe, or it's kind of like corduroy, if you're familiar with that fabric. You can see it. There's like lines on the fabric of his pants and his shirt. And then, of course, we have his little knives that he used in the movies, and they're kind of like brass knuckle daggers, double daggers. And they're very flexible. They have like bend to them and flex, and you can see he's going to fit his hand through here, and we'll check that out here in a second. I really wish he came with a blaster or something. I'm kind of disappointed with that. Even though he didn't use it in the movie, I know, a blaster. I'm a big fan of accessories, so I would have liked to have seen that. But let's check out how he interacts with these things, and very cool. Looks good. And this is kind of why I'm saying something about the blaster. Before we get too deep in it, him interacting with these, let's take a look at the different hand sculpts on his hands, and you can see one of them, the finger, his right hand, the one with the ring, has kind of like a trigger finger out. So it's almost like they designed him for a blaster, but no blaster. And then another little detail I'm noticing here is he's got like a thing on his wrist on his right hand that he doesn't have on his left hand. A little gray bracelet type thing, maybe a comm link. But let's see how he interacts with the daggers here. And they look pretty much identical. Let's just double check that, see if they're identical. They're pretty close. I mean, they're about pretty much identical, yeah. So, whoop, they're little suckers. Very cool. Okay, so let's go ahead and put these in his hand and see how he interacts with them here. And he gets a really good grip on them, so that's good. I like that. And then we'll check the other dagger here. And so, as I was pointing out, he had that trigger finger out on one hand. It doesn't seem to be interfering with how he holds them. He's got a really good grip on both of them. So, very cool. Yeah. I'm liking it. So, and then what I want to do here before we get any further and put his jacket back on, or his cape back on, is one of the things, I was doing a little research on this figure before I started this video, is according to one of the websites I was looking at, there's an Easter egg hidden in this figure. So if you look at the scarring on his face, it's kind of like a light brown color right now. And so what you're supposed to be able to do, and I don't know if Hasbro did this intentionally. I'm not aware if they officially announced it or anything. But supposedly what you're supposed to be able to do is take this figure and put him in the freezer, and the scars on his face are going to turn like a bright red color. So I want to try that out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pause the video real quick, and I'm going to run and stick this guy in the freezer, and we're going to come back and do like a little before and after comparison here, and see if there is truly a Scar Easter egg on this figure. So give me a sec, guys. I'll pause the video and we'll be right back. Alright everyone, so I just had him in the freezer for about 10 or 15 minutes, and it looks to me like the scars got a little bit darker, but I don't know if I'd go calling them a bright red color. They definitely show up more. But it's just a little thing. I was looking up this figure online and doing a little research on it, and I saw that they were saying you could put him in the freezer for a little bit and the scars on his face would brighten up and become a little more visible. So just a little trick if you want to try it. I don't know. It kind of worked. So, alright guys. Let's go ahead and get his cape back on him, and one of the things I'm kind of looking at here is you have this extra little piece to his cape, and I'm just trying to see if it connects to anything or anything like that. It doesn't look like it. You just kind of tuck it under there, and it doesn't really, I don't know, I guess depending on how you put it, it's not really staying all that well, but you can see it kind of hanging out a little bit, sticking out a little bit, but there you go, there you have it. Let's give him one. I'll go ahead and put one of the daggers back in there. Alright, we'll go ahead and do both of them. And very cool. Alright, and let's give him one final little test here, and you shouldn't have any problem getting a Black Series figure to stand up. They usually stand up just fine, but I like to give it one little more test just to be sure. Alright everyone, there he is. From the Solo movie, this is Dryden Vos, number 79 in the 6-inch Black Series line. And thanks for watching everyone. I hope you guys are enjoying the videos and enjoying the reviews. And if you are, please subscribe to the channel. We would love to have your support here. And thank you so much for watching, and we'll talk to you guys later. Bye.